right. I think that's good. So let's kick it off, Will. So the purpose of this session is really to illustrate what fleet is, what it does at a very high level in a specific scenario. And so by doing this, we'll provide kind of a basic harbor tour of what fleet can do under this scenario. So Will's going to be a CPE. He's at a large enterprise organization. He's currently on their IT team, but there's a big consolidation between IT and security, and they're looking to reevaluate their needs with regard to tooling. And so he might not have a background in OS query, a very extensive background, but he has some understanding of what it is. He's heard about it, but hasn't really used it in the past. All right, Will. Hey, how you doing? My name's Dave Herder here, and we're going to be taking the time today to provide a background on Fleet. As I understand, you are currently a CPE at the Acme Corporation. How are things going today for you?
Things are going good, Dave. Great to meet you. I've been a CPE here for a couple of years now. We've got some changes coming on our side, and we're really just interested to see what you guys have to offer.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. So today, what I thought we'd do, just give you a brief background on what we're going to cover. We're going to cover a little bit of information about what Fleet's all about. Is it a data problem, it being IT, or what exactly is Fleet going to solve for you? Is seeing that you have this initiative to, there's current change going on in your organization from an IT perspective. What does that mean for you, and how would you use Fleet from a device management perspective? Is that something that you're looking to leverage from a security perspective as well? And maybe talk a little bit about vulnerability management, depending on what exactly you're looking to cover. So maybe before we get started looking at the product, maybe get your thoughts on whether or not solving IT challenges, is that a data problem for you? Do you feel like getting the data out of your current fleet of devices with your current tooling is something that you feel is kind of like focused around data that's coming from these devices, or is it something else? Are we totally off base there?
No. I mean, it's a combination of both, right? So one of the big changes in my organization is our security and IT teams are going to be combining. So there's definitely that data aspect of it. The security team, they're very, very data centered. They want to be able to have access to the data that's coming from all of our endpoints. We have about 7,000 devices in our environment, but the IT side of thing is also we're also managing the devices. So we have to be able to control what goes on the devices, how we can kind of get those set up. And so having these two teams combined together, we need to figure out something that's going to work best for both sides of those problems. How do we still manage the devices, but get access to that data?
Cool. And so you're doing this mostly from an MDM perspective today, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we do use a fairly large MDM for our devices right now. We're open to changing that though, if we can find something that better fits our needs.
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to kick it off with also like why Fleet. We talked a little bit about data and security. Security needs data, but how do they get the data? Is it about running scripts on schedules, or is it about grabbing data from plists? Is it about learning PowerShell and executing those scripts? And where is all this data, right? So I mean, the biggest thing I think that Fleet offers is data flexibility in terms of its access, and then how you actually push the data into other locations. So Fleet is really about exploring data, and one of the first things I want to cover is like where this data lives, right? So right now you can get data over 300 different tables, 309 tables, and a lot of those are broken up across Mac, Chrome, Linux, Windows operating systems. There's commonalities across the different tables, but really, like if you're looking to get data from battery health data, You'd be grabbing a native API from a Windows device or macOS device, and then really what OS Query is doing under the hood, and Fleet you can think of as just like this aggregator for that OS Query data, is about making all the data accessible into like a huge giant SQL database. So you don't have to manage multiple plist files, so like flat files, querying for known hosts. You don't have to grab data from native APIs any longer. All that hard work is done for you. So, we might talk about this a little bit later about grabbing data from installed software, but this is kind of like some tables where, that you have access, and, this is just a high level list of where this data could exist. But it's just, the hard part is like, where do you get started?